Alright, we're back on the Dreadful Whale. Talk to Megan Foster about the best way to reach the home of Kirin Jindosh, Grand Inventor to the Duke of Sarkanos.
I need Anton Sokolov, but he's missing. Held by another inventor named Kirin Jindosh, who no doubt wants whatever secrets Sokolov holds in his head. Jindosh is the mad inventor who armed Karnaca with clockwork killing machines, the city where I grew up and trained, where I won the Duke's tournament when I was still a boy. They say the clockwork soldiers are the equal of Karnaca's best fighters now. I'm going to put that to the test. Rescue one genius and cage the other before he creates an army of clockwork soldiers.
Am I gonna head straight there, or am I actually gonna get a chance to maybe talk with a black market merchant? Maybe the black market merchant's on my ship. That'd be nice, because I just got 2 blueprints I'd love to put to use. But I can't unless I do something. Oh, hey. Note from Megan Foster. Dr. Hypatia needed a place to sleep, so I cleared the stuff out of the spare cabin. I was able to sell most of it. Here's what's left of the money. It's not a lot, I know. Whale oil is expensive and under imperial rationing decree, but you know that. Whoops. What about this? Oh, wait, we can write my travel log. That's cute. I don't feel like reading them. Dishonored. Feels like it did all those years ago. Jessamine and me, just a moment too late. Now Emily, the switch Delilah, the most powerful magic I've ever seen. She tore away the outsider's mark and made Emily into stone. Yeah, how are we gonna prevent that from happening again? As a general note. Like, she just kind of grabbed my arm and was like, yay! Fuck your powers! Whoa. Goodbye, Karnaca. Musician's farewell. I can't. Wait. What a fool I am. I tried to kiss Megan down in the engine room. She didn't even yell, just smiled a sad smile like you would at a child who still believes in night spirits. Ouch. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna see if there's anything else here. Is that like a jacket? If that's clothing, it looks kind of out of place. Nope, it's just like 3 bags. It looks like a jacket, like those are just like puffed up arms.
Is it truly possible the good doctor didn't know she was the crown killer? Maybe she just didn't want to. You might want to talk to Hypatia before we head out. She's taken one of the rooms, just for a while, I think. Needed to be away from Adamire.
Sure. Let's go talk.
Nerve of the Grand
With
Guard.
Hypatia.
Trying to keep me from... Oh, you're here. Stay with me a moment.
Sure.
Hypatia, what can you remember? I need to find Anton Sokolov. He might be the key to unraveling the Duke's plans.
My memories are disjointed. The Duke is close to his grand inventor, Kirin Jindosh. But that man has the empathy of a mantis. He seems to both admire and despise Sokolov. We visited Aramis Stilton. I liked him. But something bad happened. Just snatches of memory. Sorry.
You should rest easy for a while. Maybe some of that will help.
I hope so. I'm not sure I even fully understand what you did for me, but I owe you for helping me at Adamire. Thank you.
I stabbed you with a syringe and got to watch you writhe in pain for a bit. Don't thank me, lady. It's all Vasco's fault. And so you should be thanking him and his dead body that you caused.
My dreams are still filled with visions, some of which I'd sooner forget. When I first got here, I was in a daze, but I'm feeling better.
Well, as long as you don't go crazy on us. Dr. Hypatia's notes. On a boat with friends, I believe, I slept. Thankfully without the usual nightmares. Perhaps the sea air does me good. The captain, Megan Foster, brought me some tea earlier. Such an interesting woman. She seemed to understand about my strange, disjointed memories and the feelings of dread that accompany them. As soon as I am able, I must return to Adamire. So much of the last few months seem a blur. What was I accomplishing? What of my research into serums for the Black Spittle? My work was so easily derailed. I can only conclude I was suffering from a complete exhaustive breakdown. I will need time to recover. Yeah, hopefully she remembers things eventually.
Megan must be up on deck.
What do I got here? Drain engine room, another week, another leak. I wasted hours on it and couldn't get it done. I'll shut the water off, assuming I can find the crank wheel. Something to deal with once Sokolov is safe. You know, I do question, are there things here for me to check out? Lecture on bloodfly fever, have you read this? By Dr. Alexandria Hypatia. Here you have the final stage of the bloodfly infection. This patient is 37 years of age and was a school headmistress before her unfortunate encounter with a large nest in her deceased uncle's greenhouse. Note the lesions on her face and arms and the larval swellings throughout the body. But what the drawings cannot show you is her demeanor before death. The most striking symptom of progressed infection is the protective attitude demonstrated towards the nest. This tells us, even prior to the autopsy, that the larvae, or their byproducts, have infected the intention center of the victim's brain. There is no cure once the condition has advanced this far, though you can make your patient less agitated with a general dosing of opiates. The subject died 3 days after the silver graft was taken. And here's the fully mature insect after its post-bloodfly transformation. Now in beetle form, note it has dropped its wings. It is no longer aggressive and has many beneficial qualities, especially in the field of agriculture. Without these insects, many crops across Arcanos would suffer, leading to loss of yield and a marked reduction in profits. Wow, that must suck.
That wasn't here before. Botany and diseases.
Yeah, I guess she brought her notes on board the ship. We have tons of things to read up on.
Ramsey and the Crown Killer. 2 pieces of the puzzle.
Sorry for cutting you off. Alright, whale oil, liquid power. How astonishing that within these beasts inside the oil harvested along with their flesh was enough power to see the isles through these tumultuous years. It all seemed limitless, but now the lights begin to dim. Our fisher folk say the great beasts are increasingly rare. Not all places will suffer this loss equally. Fellow natural philosophers, Karnaca has a unique feature, the cleft in Shendari Peak, through which the winds are channeled and amplified. As whale oil begins to run short, with the cost of finding the remaining leviathans escalating beyond the worth of the oil itself, Karnaca will find itself ascendant among the isles.
More to go.
Yeah. The rest of the isles need to start believing in natural energy. We need solar panels.
As assassins go, the Crown Killer was messy, vulgar. The Duke wanted people afraid.
And it generally worked out. I still feel it was a little too obvious. Oh wait, this is new. 2 dead on our first day on the continent, but the new world was not sated and would have one more. None other than the captain himself. His group had found a cluster of small rodents, much like rabbits or prairie moles. The lure of fresh meat proved too much a temptation for our good captain, who had dined on scant fish and the same rations as the crew all these dreary months. He was able to grab one of the creatures with his bare hands, but the docile beasts were not so tame after all. Having allowed the captain to pick it up, the creature became enraged and delivered several stings from a gland hidden in its tails. The captain complained of heat and itching where the stings had penetrated, but instead they insisted they press on. He died of asphyxiation within a quarter hour. It was suddenly obvious to me that this rate of attrition would not only fail to sufficiently research the continent, but we might soon lack enough crew to make the return voyage. Something had to be done to save the venture, and so I immediately declared myself captain. On my orders, the remaining crew kept to the relative safety of the beach for the duration of the week, though I sent 2 young academy students armed with nets and cages to fetch a live sample of the prairie mole that had so swiftly killed the captain. As first and foremost, ours was a research expedition.
Dearest Emily,
Yeah, I think we read this one.
I say, Your Imperial Majesty.
We were only miles from shore, but our approach was marred by numerous hidden reefs and jagged rocks. They lay shallow, we spied 2 vessels that had succumbed to them some time ago. The remaining crew was uncharacteristically silent as we edged by the weathered wrecks. The first mate declared a particularly narrow channel to be unpassable, but the captain dispatched 10 crewmen onto the submerged coral with sledgehammers. Thereafter, each chest deep in water, they pulled the Antonia Aquila into the tiny channel with ropes. It proved a marvelous solution. However, just as we were about to lower the rope ladders, tragedy struck, as the men were beset by a school of reef-dwelling eels. Apparently, their toxic bites were quite painful. From the railing, we could see them swarming the men, who begged us for aid before succumbing to the paralytic effects of the toxin. Within moments, all were still in the water. We continue on in silence, and by sunset, we had declared the bars. We had cleared the bars and put anchor in a bay with a red rock beach with an emerald overgrowth beyond. I confess I was nearly giddy to put my feet on land again. The smell of ripening fruits and warm earth was as pleasing to me as cherished vintage. We gathered wood and made fires, and indulged in some tinned meats and lemons from our stores. How good it was to slumber on the beach with the crackle of embers nearby, having finally escaped the cramped and damp quarters of our vessel. We took turns with the watch and passed a quiet night. At last, we stood on the Banditian soil.
I have something that you and Corvo must...
I want to see the Banditian Island. It'd just be very interesting. Oh my god, there's more. I can't. Can't. Too tired. I'll read it later. Or maybe never. I wish to explore the ship and see if there's anything else just laying around. Because I want to go check out the Black Merchant. But there might not actually be a Black Merchant available. It might just be leading us into the very next mission.
Let's hope your friend doesn't sink the boat while we're gone. Ready?
Yeah, sure. Let's get a move on.
Let's go.
All right, let's get underway.
Alright, the Clockwork Mansion. Anton Sokolov is being held at the mansion of Kirin Jindosh, grand inventor to the Duke and creator of the Clockwork Soldier. Get inside, rescue Sokolov, and eliminate Jindosh before he builds an army of Clockwork Soldiers.
Jindosh is important to the Duke's inner circle. The Grand Guard watches his mansion, harassing people who look like trouble.
You said there's a wall of light cutting off access to the carriage station.
Yes, but there's a black market shop nearby.
Fantastic!
They sell on the sly. Ever use a rewiring tool?
Yes, but it's been years.
Good. Get past the wall of light, then ride the carriage to where Jindosh lives. And there's a reason people are afraid of his mansion.
I'll see you after it's done.
Corvo, take care of this crazy man and his Clockwork Soldiers, then bring Sokolov back. He means a lot to me.
Don't worry, lady. I'll save Sokolov. He's a friend of ours. He helped us out, saving Emily. Oh, I just ate rotten fruit. Get a rewire tool at the black market shop. Alright. Let me pull that up. Hide this stuff? I just want this one. That's it. So I gotta go that way. 120 meters, holy shit. Actually quite a distance. Then you know what? I think it's a good time for me to take a break. Because we've been going for quite a while. And we have a lot of stuff to check out in this new area. Might as well experience it all while fresh. Alright, welcome back to Dishonored 2. Last we left off, we were trying to go and save Anton Sokolov. But first, we were going to examine the area, but it seems like we are in another hub-like place. We want to get to the black market and see what kind of new things we got, while also finding out what other kind of things are happening around here. I'm sure there's a couple of side missions I could grab as well. So we're just going to have to hunt and find things out. As a general note, I tested the... I dicked around, I went back to one of my earlier saves. I tested out the Blink Assault, and this power is really fucking crazy. It's basically like an instant kill with Blink. You just blink at a person and you kick them into something, or you just instant kill them if they don't know you're there. And that was a fun power to dick around with for like 30 minutes. But it's not for me. It's not for the non-lethal goers. So we're gonna need to get an idea of the area again. The crown killer's watching.
The insane child Empress is gone. The age is
We are
gone.
playing dice tonight. You in?
This rival, so-called royal Corvo Attano escaped, and he's here. I'm sure of it. Scheming and hiding. Be vigilant. Your weight in silver. Bring him to justice.
You know,
Got enough to worry about. Now they say there's someone on the prowl.
his voice sounds familiar to me, and I was thinking of it earlier. He sounds like, and I'm gonna go backwards because I just remember there's a couple things I didn't look at. He sounds like Fisk from the Daredevil series, this Daredevil TV series that aired recently, and is pretty okay. That's what he sounds like. He just sounds like that villain. The same kind of intonations and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if I said that right. Is it intonations or intonations? Never spelled the word out. Huh. Anyways, the way he pronounces his words reminds me of that. That really dramatic, I am a troubled villain who's also very confident in what I'm saying because I'm just such an evil villain. Now, there better be something good around here. I hate when there's all these little tiny side nooks to check out and no rewards! Obviously the world doesn't actually cater to exploration. What the fuck? He's talking about his dream?
Rising up from the ocean, coming to smash Karnaca. I screamed and fell out of bed. It's not common knowledge, but traveling by ship horrifies me.
Whole family's done to death.
The ocean
Just
is
figured it.
force exists to drive us mad, drag us down deep, where our skin and organs turn to jelly and our bones settle in the muck. For those poor fools who make their trade on the waters, I wish them luck. Serconis is a land of tall timber, fierce winds, and deep silver
Are you coming tonight?
leave the ocean for those with no other choice.
Okay, so there are guards walking around this street. I was really hoping that they were going to be a little bit further in, but they're right around the corner, so I gotta watch out for that. It begins. I also gotta watch out for, you know, civilians. Sometimes I wish I could mark. You know, I'm just so used to that kind of thing. Just mark the enemies and know where they are all the time. Because, I mean, I already spawned them once, but no, you can't do that. It'd make things too easy.
More shops closing. This week, my favorite bakery, gone.
Watch yourself.
That is such a shame. I'm so sad for your loss. What does the heart have to say about you?
New hagfish was not fit food for the child, with all those bones. But he didn't care.
I mean, that's one of the least damnable things that are around, right?
So much dust lately from all the mining. Stepped up production. 100 times I thought about leaving this place.
He barred the door and left her. He doesn't know or care if she lives or dies.
Is she infected with, like, blood flies or something? Why did he leave her? I don't know. Oh, hey, I'm not trying to pickpocket you or anything.
It's getting hard to breathe.
I like how you can't pickpocket if you're standing up. Like, if you're just standing behind them, it doesn't give you the option. You just kind of stare at their back. What the fuck is that sound? Is it the sound of the wood creaking? That's really creepy. Okay. Well, this is a building we can look through. Oh, ooh. Alright, speaking of blood flies, we already have an infestation to deal with. Fun. Let me delete some of these earlier saves. Again, I would love it if developers, if you're gonna add a system where we can't have infinite numbers of saves, at least throw me a bone and make it easier to delete. Alright. Now, with that said, I could probably have, like, closed the game. and deleted the saves from the Steam save area, but that's a little dangerous because you don't know if you're like deleting the save you want to keep or not. The Crown Killer is watching. You know, I feel like the Crown Killer's been around for a while, and this bloodfly infestation probably has been, too. That was a bit dangerous of them to try and write this down. Hey, you shut the fuck up! Damn it, you don't talk back to me! I don't need fire. I just need to kill. Okay. We're on the hunt. There might be... I mean, there's definitely like a bone charm in here. Or a rune? It's a rune. 2 runes? Ah, it's an outsider shrine. Okay. What I really wanted to make sure was that there's no... like super infected individual walking around here mumbling to themselves like a crazy person. Okay. Month of songs. Lady Cottington brought silk scarves from her boutique, one of which Mr. Prospero used to gently strangle her. Oh. I maintained a count of her pulse and observed her breathing. When the life signs faded, we left her still for 2 full minutes before reviving her. Was it really the void she described? Have we succeeded in seeing the unseeable? My hand trembles as I recall the intensity in her eyes as she struggled to recount with broken voice what she felt during those 2 minutes. I convinced our little group that less gentle methods were needed if our desire to meet the outsider was sincere. Bloodfly fever, voluntarily induced. That will be our way to the void. After procuring a few bloodflies and some Addermeyer solution, we coated our hands with the elixir before exposing them to the vivarium. The stinging was unbearable. Lady Cottington fainted immediately. I was the last one to remove my hands. The fever was quick to set in. As I faded in and out of consciousness, ocean waves pounded above me. There were silhouettes in the distance, and shimmering black rocks, a timeless passing, in an unthinkable place, while delirium held us for a few hours. I must get there, or get back there as soon as possible when my wounds have healed. Yeah! Get on that, man. That's totally what's gonna happen here. Ugh. So they wanted to see the outsider and the void so badly, they infected themselves with an almost guaranteed to die affliction of, you know, bloodfly parasites bursting out of them. What a terrible way to go. And that's not even like, well, yeah, it's not like the first person that we've seen like 3 different people do that. Infect themselves willingly for some of the shit. Well, actually, I guess not. I guess these are the first ones we saw willingly do it. These are just like the 3rd people we saw who willingly had bloodflies in the area. The guy who tried to sell the amber for money, the fucking Addermeyer institution, and now these guys. Can I blink through here? Sometimes blink disappoints me. What is that? Oh, that's the shrine. There's gotta be a way. Oh, there we go. For me to get inside. How convenient. That's not even that high up. That's like at my head level. I could like jump. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I could jump and see over there. Hey! What are you doing? Just imagine that. You're having a bath and your neighbor goes, yo! How's it going? Having a nice bath? That's a weird fucking place to do it. Or put it. Alright, whatever. So this has to be the main place that they were all at. Was this the guy who kept his hands in the longest? The one who was most dedicated to meeting the outsider? I guess we'll see. I want to grab everything around here first. Whispers from the Void by Barnoli Mulani. It is a common story. A person has stopped breathing, pinned under... Oh, we already read this one. Pinned under carriage wheels, and then they come back. But part 2, here we go. These little glimpses of the void in dreams are described by those awoken from comas, are not limited to select few. Oh. No, we've read this one as well. Damn. Why do all these people have to have the same books? Gosh.
I'll tell you a story about Kirin Jindosh, a prodigy from Karnaca. Self-taught, he was hailed by the Academy of Natural Philosophy as a genius who would surpass Sokolov and bring about an age of enlightenment. But just 2 years after his arrival, he was banned from the Academy for life, for reasons that are still not public. When they deported him, he left behind a machine that drank seawater, playing music that brought listeners to tears. They probably took it apart, and it has never worked since.
Were they happy tears or sad tears? Whoa. Oh. It's a fucking table. Or this isn't a table. That's so fucking loud! Jesus, I thought something was like breaking in behind me to like capitalize on my greed. Alright, so good to know. Jindosh is a genius who has some fucked up ambitions that people disagree with. Or maybe he has perfectly normal ambitions that people disagree with because they're typical.
Kid, I can read. Does he think I'm stupid? I know all my letters and then some.
Where did I put that thing?
Hello.
I always love being able to like listen to conversations from a distance by using my spyglass. It never makes sense, but technology. All right, so we have 6 runes right now, so I could upgrade my blink. I could get bend time for 5. Oof. I really should. I want all of these powers, or well, the majority of them. All of these are really good. What are the possession upgrades? Chain hosts, lasting possession, human possession. Allies to the human you are possessing will not attack you, and security devices attuned to the human are, like the pylon or wall, will not harm you. If you are falling, possessing an animal or human on the way down will effectively break your fall. So if you make them fall off the edge, you can just go to somebody else and be like, oh no, he fell off. Okay. I want everything. I really, really do. I'd love to upgrade 2 down for the master crafting, so that way I just start off with fantastic bone charms. No corruption when crafting 3 traits into an item. That's fantastic. But I can't get that actually just yet, so meh. I want to get Greater Blink, because I find myself in more situations where I need to blink further away than I find myself in situations where, holy shit, I need to freeze time. I mean, we're only 3 missions into this at the end of the day. Alright, so I think we checked out the majority of this inside area. The purpose of this place was for us to find the runes. So how far can this go now? Woo! Woo! A really, really big distance is the answer. Holy shit. Lock it. There we go.
I told him he was too skinny.
Oh. Why is there a dead guy in here? Maybe there's a note about it? Let's see. Letter to Bonneville. Major Bonville, thank you again for your help. Without you, it would have been impossible to trace the final members of the Grand Guard who were with the Stilton that night 3 years ago. The last man had made it all the way north to Maya, if you can believe it, and was recovering at a Tivian asylum for the poor, claiming to have seen all manners of strange things on the night of Stilton's last social gathering. He even described an exotic, hooded figure visiting the manor. Perhaps someone connected to Stilton's disappearance. Such matters are best left to military men such as yourself, I suppose. I still have your bank agent's name and address. Rest assured, your final payment will be delivered soon. I'm also sending a small flask of a liquor that is close to my heart, made from the pumice left over after wine grapes have been pressed. Please think of me as you enjoy. Yours truly, Brianna Ashworth. Who the hell is Brianna Ashworth? And why does she just have a bone charm laying around here? Spiritual sacrifice. What is that? Killing bloodflies or rats restores mana. Ooh. That's actually really solid because I don't get penalized for doing it. At least not that I know of. I'm pretty sure they don't count for kills listed. But still, why the fuck is there a dead guy here? Oh, hello. Ramsey's stochastic eyes. Thanks for the money, buddy.